Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Magic Arena Run. Today it's Midweek Magic. Well, I actually kind of skipped the drafting, the drafting last time because I was actually I'm physically tired a lot. I'll probably do a draft much later, but for now, I guess I can use Golden Seal to draft. Well, let's be fair, Golden Seal is not exactly very good practice. In fact, it we get a whole lot of rares and mythics, but we don't get a lot of the utilitarian stuff. And ignore the first seer because we're not actually, but we'll get to see which ones work. Pretty much the first thing we need to check out here is, do we have a functioning mana base? Well, thankfully, a starting town is always very good here. We'll always take that. There's a meticulous archive, so blue white could help get some help with it. Some monocolored stuff. Carnation Vista. So this one's a bit interesting. So for one mana, so it can either tap for the mana of the chosen color, so it can fix itself, or if you are playing, okay, so if I have two monocolored permanents of different colors, this would be net even. If I have three, that would be net positive. We probably would end up with three, but there's a good chance that we end up with just two. We'll see how it lines up. Now let's take a look at our multicolored stuff, and we got quite a lot. At the beginning of your upkeep, where it's number of card types among other non-land permanents. In- Interesting, but the same with Garrett. Non-token creatures you control. Create a token that's a copy of target token you control that entered. Somewhat interesting. I'm probably looking more into this line though. I'm trying to see if I could make it work with white so that Meticulous Archive is good. Well, of course, there's a Coma, which is well, not the same as the original Coma, but this is still pretty hard to deal with. It's also a bit hard to cast. Whenever you cast your second spell, you may sacrifice an artifact. We don't have that much there. This one is whenever you cast a non-creature spell, which is interesting, but we probably want to be casting creature spells here. Choose target enchantment. So we have a lot of. I'm just trying to. If whenever lightning until your next turn, if a sorcery deals double that damage, so definitely wants to hit first. The first strike helps, but and I guess it helps that removal is not gonna be that much because we are playing with just rares and mythics, which is why ill-timed explosion is gonna be quite good. I guess loot it's fine. We could go green. We could go green, blue, red. But what does that give us? Vanifar. At the beginning of combat, cloak a card from your hand or put a plus. So this one on each colorless creature control. I guess I could go for because yeah, because this one doesn't is not really that great. This one also not really that great. So I'm guessing white blue is kind of out for us. Blue black artifact you control. So we should also do an artifact check. I did two busters. Okay, Bahamut is an auto ender. Got a lot of equipment. Marvin is okay. Sprawling Crawler is kinda okay. So these are kind of nuts and bolts things. I'm not looking into the equipment quite yet until and I don't see anything that helps with equipment. Normally they're in white red. We don't get any there. So, but we do have some artifacts. Well, two artifacts. So this might not be so. So this might not be that great. Whale of the Forgotten. Return target non. Okay, so blue black looks really bad. I did say ill-timed explosion is quite good. Unfortunately, the only other good pairing with it is VV, so that one's not so sure. So even the ill-timed explosion might go. We can just cut that for now. Infamous Cruel Claw deals combat damage. XL cards, you may cast that card by discarding. Okay, black-red is looking quite good here. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, also kind of fine here. So vehicles you control. Okay, so and I did not see any vehicles here. You might see some in the colored slots though for each raccoon. So as it is, black red is the one that looks good. But let's see if we have enough cards to actually fill that. I might just go straight. Sephiroth is always good. Cecil's a good fit. Return all creature cards from your graveyard battlefield. Okay, so we probably Dark Confidant is not a good fit here. If we well, I will definitely have to take out Funeral Room for sure. Whenever you commit a crime, so we need ways to target opponent. Okay, so this one commits crimes. That player that doesn't commit crimes. This one will commit crimes. Okay, so I guess Hellraiser's fine enough. I'll probably take Xenon as well as a kind of board wipe. Ceremony is no. Each half non. Whenever a player sacrifices an. Okay, that's a bit ambitious. We are gonna have lots of removal, but okay, red seems to have a lot more. Okay, we actually do have a few artifacts to go with it. Actually, so the one thing of note is that we do not really have any instants or sorceries at all. Like, so Judith is kind of a no-go here. Falcon does look okay. Enduring Curiosity is actually a good option here as well. Salvation Swan, yeah, no, we haven't. Okay, we have a United Battlefront, but I don't want to run that. And on green, actually no, wait, we do have a sword. Okay. So Bramble Familiar, Web Strike Elite, Vitality, Scrap Shooter. So these are super heavy green. So probably we don't want to run these if I can. But now I have to. But now I have to find a way to fill out my curve. It might actually just be blue. Might actually just have to be blue after all. You may cast non-creature spells as though they had flash. We have very few of them, but this is still a cheap drop. Lunar Whale. Plus, yeah, my other options here are super. Salvations. That said, this does look better. We get some additional cheaper plays which we are kind of looking for. I get an excuse to run lightning, but now we just need like three more additional cards. Yeah, unfortunately, Judith is not a. guess I just have to run these guys. So we are kind of even red. Yeah, this is honestly not so great. Lots of super expensive cards. We are. Yeah, this one doesn't do anything. I'll sneak in one Buster Sword just to fill in the gaps, but honestly, this is not a really good setup for us. We opened a really bad pool, very little. Well, we do have quite a bit of removal in our black, but we're gonna have to accept that a lot of it's gonna be quite problematic. I'm gonna take a risk at this. We do have more. Actually, this one's quite good. Okay, so we have some options. So I just need one of my other mana sources to be able to say drop something that can block this. I would have loved to be able to drop this, but yeah, that's kind of the. So we'll see if we're. This one really helps if you have an additional army, but oh, Vincent, that's probably one of the worst things we can run into. We do hit a generous plunder, and we create the treasure too. So I could plot with this one and hope to hit another land. I could also just play the gen. So I could also just play Generous Plunder to probably fix my mana somehow. Yeah, I'm just gonna gamble a bit here. So if I can hit my, and this one is expend is you have to actually spend mana. Oh wow, they hit their curve. So Marvin can go here. It's gonna deal a lot of damage, but at least thankfully the way it works, they still have to deal 2 damage to this, so we're only taking 2 in that sense, but it's still really painful. Yeah, we're not winning this because we could not hit our mana drops. And we hit our Tarnation Vista super. Okay, yeah. Yep, you can concede that one. That didn't quite line up. It happens. But that is a risk that you take with Golden Seal. And to be fair, I did keep a land with 3 swamps, knowing that I probably needed at least a second color there. Also interesting. Also, it does tell us that a lot of our plays are gonna be super early plays. Okay, at least we have. We're now missing the white, which we know is our splash color. I'm gonna mull this. This one's fine because we do get reluctant role model, and we get all our colors. Funeral room. Let's see if they have remove. Wait, no, they won't have removal. Oh, they might have removal. It's gonna be quite expensive, but I wouldn't mind that much. Okay, not, and it is an expensive piece of removal, so I will. So it is quite okay. So this is where I'm hoping to hit an untapped mana. So I definitely want to plot this next turn. Caretaker's Talent. Okay, no land yet, so probably just play Scrawling Crawler and pass. As we want 5 or more untapped lands. They could level that up, but I would honestly just try to wait if we can. Okay, a bit of a dud there, but we can. So check. This is sacrifice. Okay, it's at any time, and I can always flash if I need to, so we can pass on that. Somehow I think Scrawling Crawler is gonna be our MVP here if it gets to that point. Opponent can't activate Restless Anchorage. Well, they can activate it, but it just does nothing. I guess they're hoping to create a token, but they really need another blue source. Yeah, they. Yeah, that doesn't do much. Okay, I already went to the beginning of the next end step, so I'm gonna just pass. Make sure to cast this first. And let's see. Yeah, I guess we hold on to this for now. Our opponent seemed to get stuck on mana here, and it is a really big deal considering everything is expensive, especially in the rare and mythic slot. The opponent finally hit their. Okay, they got it. Okay, so I can get a discount. So we're just gonna cast this. Not gonna exile anything. And that should be game. Yeah, just the extra card draw is plenty already. I didn't even need to cast the Salvation Swan, but our opponent really didn't have anything set up there. Okay, so that was one good win. Dawnhand Dissident. Alright. One of the really key cards from Lorne Eclipse. Now that I think of it, I did not. Well, we got a lot of FF cards, but we didn't get. So if we can hit another mana, this would be super great. But otherwise, this is really bad. I'll mulligan. Okay, we can keep this. We bin the Swan. So we're kind of relying on our Generous Plunder. We don't really have any activated ability, so Form has a nice curve. Oh, and this has a potential to grow. Oh, it does have menace, you know. So we have 5 mana. Probably just drop Marvin. Probably just cast Marvin and maybe a funeral room. Opponent now incentivized to drop something big now. That's a bit of the risk. We are giving them quite something big. Forgotten Cellar is actually quite good if you. Well, you don't have any spells in graveyard. Okay, in fairness, it is a good way to. And it's only when you unlock the store, so you're not doing it again anytime soon. So 5. I don't need to drop that yet. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 next, 8 next turn. So I'll. Wing Jumper. Okay, so it grows a bit. And yeah, we're not swinging with this one, but we don't have to. It's just an upkeep trigger. We can just still keep hitting with this one up top. I can now play Funeral Room just so that I want to play Cruel Claw, but it's gonna get blocked anyway. And I want to hit Bahamut instead. Yeah, this is we are kind of giving our opponent the big mana, but they didn't. They spent it poorly here, or rather, okay, create the dragon, sure. Could give it haste, in which case I'd probably just take the hit from the dragon. So I definitely want to nuke the dragon first, so just to keep clearing the way for our geese. Ooh, I would love to do Gisa first. I'd love to do Gisa first, but I also would love to just end the game right here. So thankfully it's still a creature, so none of the non-creature spells I know are going to hit it. Now the safe play is just swing with the Phoenix. I honestly also wait. One, two. Okay, sure. They sat. So if I swing, they go down to 5, 4, 3, 2. They block one. They go down to 1. So okay, that's less enticing. Just hit before. So it's really the cheap creatures that are super important. Oh, the charge to it. Sure. Opponent now soup. I'm suspecting removal for attacking or blocking, which is why I want to at least get drain them a bit first. So at least this way, even if Bahamut doesn't hit, the Phoenix, even if Bahamut doesn't hit, the Phoenix will. Yep. There we go, Bahamut for the win. Okay, so yeah, we're getting a better handle of this. And probably the most important handle is we really have to mulligan very aggressively here. Gems is always good. So we do have a generous plunderer and 2 possible for lightning an army, so I'm willing to take that risk. But okay, not punished. We got all our colors, but we could still be punished for. Yeah, the only reason I was willing to keep this one was because. Now this one, our opponent is about to ramp, so we definitely want to start saving for save for either Clive or save for Bahamut. Opponent's gonna be probably really heavy green here. I played the wrong one. Okay, play Sephiroth. We decline, because I don't want to sacrifice that. Yeah, I should have played this one to get lightning. Though we can now just use Primal Odin to... Okay, nice vehicle, but no... Do they have a cheap creature to drop with it? Opponent could sack the treasure token in response if they want to take less damage. But I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana, so probably give up a token just for Odin if I have to. Sacrifice another creature, no, decline. I'm just trying to see what map could be a coma. That would be really annoying. Oh, this Storm Slayer. Okay. This one is crew 3, so they make tokens, it doesn't really do much. Oh no, it does something. It's there. Okay, so this one gets double blocked. Thrown. Okay, someone is good. That's it. That's a bit of an interesting strat. They could crew this one hit me, in which case, yeah. Probably shouldn't be thinking of hitting me though. Oh no, they are gonna try to hit me. Okay, going for damage. Do they have no? Because my question is now, how do you defend? And it's a tap treasure token. Well, 2 tap treasure tokens. So thank you, Elspeth. That's super weird. No need to sacrifice. It would have helped me start drawing cards, but if I don't have to, I shouldn't. Yeah, and this just gets worse. I had no idea what our opponent was thinking. There we go. I think it is probably our opponent is probably our opponent's cheeky way of conceding, just letting it all through. But yeah, that's kind of the issue if everything is quite expensive. You really still want to have those cheap plays there. I'll go for one more game. Let's see if we can. Ooh, that's a nice lateral. I'll go for one more game. Let's see if we can. Let's see how we can get this one out. So we get an extruder, possibly a byway, but we kind of need black. I'm over this. Okay, this is a lot better. We got our generous plunderer again. Keep 6. We bin Judith because she actually doesn't do anything. Also, multiple black is not a bad idea. Yeah, the plunder's been doing a lot of work for us. I could see an argument. I could see an argument for, well, okay, opponent now has 4 mana. Creature she control have Wither. Oh, we have a Legion Extruder. Or I just Primal Open now. And if somehow our opponent is not able to generate multiple blockers, they actually just lose the game. No. And there we go. That was... And there we go. Having the early play beats it all. You really have to mulligan for those. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode of Magic Arena Run. If you like what you saw, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And turn on notifications. Good. All in all, other than that first game where we were trying to figure out the ropes, we found what we needed to do. I'm pretty happy with the results there. That's going to be it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope to see you guys again next time. Take care, God bless, stay safe wherever you are. Have a great week.